In today's class, we are going to learn about popular music as a separate genre of Indian music. So far, we have learned about art music, about tribal music or primitive music. Then we have learned about devotional music, folk music, and now we are going to learn about popular music today. So, some preliminary observations about musical categories in India would be in order as a preparation for discussing relevant music and musicological features of popular music. So let us see what the characteristics of popular music are, or the features of popular music are. What makes it separate or different from other genres of music which we have learned. So all these categories that we have learned, none of the categories are producer oriented. Nobody produces folk music. Nobody produces primitive music. Nobody produces art music. It exists. What the practitioners do is they explore it, they improvise it according to their capacity of intelligence and about the knowledge which they have learned from their gurus. So none of it is producer oriented. It's a very important feature of all the music genres that we have learned till now. Categories are fundamental molds of conceiving, transmitting, as well as receiving musical structures as also music experience. So all these categories are fundamental molds of conceiving, of transmitting as well as receiving musical structures as well as music experience. So all of these categories give a different kind of experience, and they all are capable of conceiving, transmitting as well as receiving they are the musical structures as also music experience. Now all the categories enjoy equal sociological validity. All these are accepted genres in the society. Though there are different sections of society that appreciate these musics, but all these categories do enjoy equal sociological validity. They have acceptance and they are validated by different sections of the society. Musicological legitimacy and a notable capacity of being culturally expressive in their own way. So these different genres are accepted by different sections of the society. They are validated by different sections of the society and also enjoyed and expressed by different sections of the society, but are all validated by the society. Nobody performs categories per se. Nobody would say that I'm going to perform art music. So it is not the category that they perform. The musicians perform their music, but for the convenience of understanding, for the convenience of further study, and for the convenience of to create a wider perspective of different aspects of music, these are categories, but nobody performs categories. For example, a musician would perform khayal or a drupad. Both of them come under art music. So we do not usually say that the musician would not usually say that I'm going to perform art music today. He or she would say I'm going to perform a khayal or I'm going to perform a drupad, but not art music, for example. So genres subsumed under categories and compositions generated within these genres are the actually performed entities. So the something what we just discussed. So the composition generated within these genres are the actual performed entities. So under, for example, art music, there would be khayal, there would be drupad, there would be dhamar, there would be bada khyal, there would be chota khyal. All these forms will come under art music. Therefore, the chain that makes categories concrete to perceivers is category is bigger than genre, genre is bigger than composition, and finally, performance. Obviously, the progression suggests a movement from wider to narrower contexts. The progression is from the biggest is the category and the smallest is the performance. So the progression suggests a movement from wider to narrower contexts. Changes in criteria or their sets employed to evaluate the content are also suggested by the chain. Finally, the chain points to the emergence, however gradual, of the performer, performance, perceiver, trinity. These three being the constituents of a wider process of communication. Now, generally speaking, the more the number of categories existing and operative within a culture, the greater would be its musical richness in terms of variety of genres, number of performers involved, and socio-cultural energy spent in performances. Now, the more the number of categories that exist and are operative within a culture, the greater would be its musical richness in terms of variety of genres. And the number of performers involved. To a lesser or greater extent, the categorical the categorical sextet mentioned earlier exhibits simultaneous operations. Now, the categories do not function in isolation or exist as watertight compartments. Interaction or mutual influencing and interpretation and interpenetration are normal processes in these genres. This is inevitable as categories are cognate streams of a living and larger culture. So all these genres that we saw, the popular music, the art music, folk music, and tribal music, devotional music, they're not watertight compartments, but each of these genres have salient features which make that genre. But as they're not watertight compartments, they have give and take, they have interpenetration between the forms. Like, for example, when an abhanga is being recited, an abhanga is being sung, it can drift away into art music. It can be based on a particular rag, and the rag improvisation can take place while singing a particular abhang. So it can drift away into art music and come back to devotional music. So there are many such examples of art penetration. Interaction and they mutually influence each other. Definitely. Like folk music also these days, there are many practitioners who are performing folk music with a lot of influence of art music. They have folk music presented with the help of art music. They have rag, influence of rag system on the folk music. So there are many such examples which we can cite. And so this is inevitable as categories are um, not obsolete and they have a large, uh, um, if you look at the larger cultural scene, they are all um, interpenetrative. Now, all categories do change, but they vary in their amenability to and rate of change. Folk music also changes, primitive music changes, tribal music changes. Art music changes, devotional music also changes. So each of these music definitely changes with time, but all of them have a different rate of change at which they would change. Both intra-category and inter-category circulation of musical ideas is a highly unpredictable feature. Among other factors, circulation of musical ideas depends on many socio-cultural factors, including media operation, structuring of political power, as also the measure and quality of social organization. Indian categories of music exemplify pervasive functioning of a comprehensive oral tradition. However, it must be stressed that Indian oral tradition cannot be described as a tradition of preliterate group. Now, expectably, different regions of India display varying dynamics of musical behavior. The fact is clearly reflected in the existence, perception, and functioning of categories. Most of these categories have two kinds of identifiable features, cultural and musical. Even though there may not be a direct one-to-one and casual relationship between the two, the cultural and the musical, both features reflect each other and also reflect on one another. So this is basically the background in which the Indian categorical scene of music in general, scene as of music is in general, and the category of popular music in particular is to be appreciated. So this is the background which is very important to know before we come actually to popular music. Now it is very necessary to list the perfunctionary, some prominent forms or genres of popular music. The following can be easily quickly thought of. First is all the film songs and cinematic background music can come under popular music. So these are now subcategories of popular music. Like film music, film songs is popular music, or cinematic background music is popular music. Now let us listen to a film song and also an example of cinematic background music. Popular music is something which changes very soon, very fast in time, according to time, than the other genres. Popular music doesn't have a very large or big life. It changes very soon compared to the other genres. Let us listen to an example of film songs. Let's listen to a song called Kun Faya Kun, which is a A.R. Rahman composition, and also a background score used in the film. आजा खाली पल में पिघल देगा तेरे बिन खाली आजा खाली पल में तेरे बिन खाली आजा खाली पल में
जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था वही था वही था वही था जब कहीं पे कुछ नहीं भी नहीं था वही था वही था वही था वही था वो जो मुझ में समाया वो जो तुझ में समाया पूरा वही वही पाया जो मुझ में समाया वो जो तुझ में समाया पूरा वही वही पाया मेरा मन मेरे रंगाई चाहे चाहे मन रंग रेजा रंग मेरा मन मेरे रंगाई चाहे चाहे मन सजना सवेरा मेरे तन भर से हजरा अंधेरा तेरी चाहती माँ सजना सवेरा मेरे तन भर से हजरा अंधेरा तेरी चाहती माँ कतरा मिला तेरे घर पर से
Okay, so this was one example of Kun Faya Kun film song. Now let's listen to cinematic background music. What is it exactly? We did discuss it in very brief in the last class when we were discussing about a few other things. That cinematic background score is basically not a song, but it is used as the background score for maximum impact of what is being showed in a film. So now we come to that. Okay, so this was some of the music which is also used as the background music for many of A.R. Rahman films. Then we come to the next sub-category of popular music, which is the broadcast or telecast of ad music. For example, jingles. We also learned about jingles in the last few classes very briefly. So jingles are basically it is basically the music which is used for marketing or to advertise a product. And it's a very small composition. It's a very small compositions of 10 seconds or 15 seconds, maximum to a half minute. So it is made very attractive. It is made so catchy so that the client, the customer gets genuinely attracted to the product that is being marketed. And that's how products are. soul with the help of jingles. So we'll also listen to this music, how it is made, because a different thought process that goes in making all of this music. And the thought process is different for making film songs, for making background score, for making jingles, for making ad music, for making politician slogans and songs. So all of this is popular music, but there's a different thought process that goes in composing all of these different subtypes of popular music. So let's listen to a few examples of jingles.
हर बात होगी मिलता ही जब शुरुआत हो सही खिलखिलाती बातें खुशबू खिलखिलाती अपना पहचान होती है न जाने जब शुरुआत तुम्हारी हो सही दीवारों को जब सजाना हो डराती हंसी दुलार डराती हंसी दुलार डराता और फिर भेड़िए ने मेमने से कहा मैं तुम्हें खा जाऊंगा गले में खींच खींच विक्स लो विक्स में 6 औषधि तत्व हैं जो खिचखिच हटाएं तो जब भी गले में खिचखिच हो विक्स लो गले में खिचखिच गले में क्या करूं विक्स की गोली लो खिचखिच दूर करो विक्स की गोली लो खिचखिच दूर करो magic hey Penny what's this magic all about you know you hold it you taste it to know that it's right you drink it you feel good you know it's the choice yeah he the right choice baby Let Pepsi Let Pepsi Let Pepsi yeah he the right choice baby yeah he the right choice baby you know when it's right you know it's the choice washing powder Nirma, दूध सी सफेदी Nirma से आए, रंगीन कपड़ा के पीले पीले जाए, Nirma ने बांधा सामान, washing powder Nirma, थोड़ा सा पाउडर और झाग ढेर सारा, घर भर के कपड़ों को पल में निखारा, हीमा रेखा जया और सुषमा सबकी पसंद निर्मा वॉशिंग पाउडर निर्मा कंगी मत में अधिक सफेदी लाया निर्मा इसीलिए तो घर घर में आया निर्मा वॉशिंग पाउडर निर्मा वॉशिंग पाउडर निर्मा निर्मा
ये भी कोई फिल्म है
पकड़े रहना
छोड़ना नहीं
पकड़े रहना
छोड़ना नहीं
पकड़े रहना
देखो तो कितनी सुंदर हंसमुख लड़की है अपने राजू से इसकी शादी की बात चलाए ऐसा ही होता है मेरी त्वचा से मेरी उम्र का पता ही नहीं चलता हल्दी और चंदन के गुण समाए संतूर जीवन को कुछ और सजाए संतूर संतूर
ये ज़मीं ये आसमां हाँ ये ज़मीं ये आसमां हमारा कल हमारा आज हमारा कल हमारा आज बुलंद भारत की बुलंद तस्वीर हमारा बाजार बुलंद भारत की बुलंद तस्वीर हमारा बाजार
Yes, so we just heard many jingles, which are also known as ad music. In all of the, I purposely made you listen to all the ads that I had. These are the ads which were, which used to come on the television in 1990s or even before that. Few ads used to come even before that. So since that time, there has been the culture of jingles. And you can see that each ad was around half a minute. And in that half a minute, the music was so catchy, it was so fast moving. Within that half minute, within the 15 seconds, the product maker has to convey the utilities or the usefulness of that product and how it stands apart, how it stands better than the other products. It is so all that has to be clearly conveyed in the form of ad music or the jingles. So this particular thought process goes into thinking about making ad music. So this is something which comes under popular music again. Then there are different songs which are composed for and recorded as virgin music, political slogans and songs, especially composed and employed during election campaigns, etc. You will see then wherever there is election fever, whenever there is there are elections going on, there are so many songs that are made of a specific party or to campaign for campaigning of a certain politician. So there are separate specific songs made, music is made for such events. And these campaigns, they don't have the motto or the aim of these songs is not to create melody or to create songs of high aesthetic value, but to emphasize on the fact that to emphasize a particular party's presence or prominence, and what all the party has done and what all party promises to do for people in future. Or if it is about a politician, then it also conveys what all work he has done in the past, what all he's going to do in future. And that is the main aim of creating these politician slogans and campaign. It is also known as um, campaign music, during which is used during these times. So it has a different aim again. It is the life of that music is very short lived. It is only till the elections get over, till the elections are about to happen, after which that music does not hold any importance. So another type of popular music is melodic motor horns and doorbells and telephone music, ringtones, reverse car horns. All this is again a type of popular music, in which again the aim is not to create music of very high aesthetic order, or so that people appreciate it and people remember it for a very long time. All this is not the aim, but it is to um, create mainly, when we talk about motor horns, it is about the use of music to convey about the traffic conditions, or asking somebody to give away, or asking somebody to uh, uh, go forward in the traffic conditions. So it is basically the motor horns that are coming up with musical horns now, and also the doorbells. Instead of just a normal traditional ting tong, uh, some people do like to have a melodic kind of doorbell, in which you listen to a song and then open the door for the person who is coming. Telephone music, instead of the normal tring tring, which is the traditional ringtone, some people do like to have a melodious a song, or a line of this of a song, a tune, instead of the traditional tring tring, which they would like to listen to, because you have to listen to it many times. Somebody who gets a lot of phone calls in the day usually would like to go for a melodic ringtone than just the traditional tring tring. Then there are stadium songs in sports meets. Then there are festivals, and then competitions in which songs are also used. Like there are festivals like Diwali festival, and then there is Dasera, and then there is Republic Day, there is Independence Day. There are different songs made for all of these occasions. Then there is Gudi Padwa, then there is summer, then there is spring. There are different songs for monsoon. So all of these songs come under again a sub genre of popular music. Then there are version songs. The one song is made and there are different versions of that song. Like for example, it's a very popular version of version song is the Coke Studio. In Coke Studio, there are normally the songs are taken which are pre-recorded, and they re-record it with different set of instruments and with different setups, very modern setups and good musicians, and they do give it a remake. So remixes based on old or existing songs, indie pop, or some compositions in fusion music, Indian rap, DJ products, etc., all come under this subgenre. So we'll just listen to a quick example of how a remix can be.
La 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 तू है वही दिल में जिसे अपना कहा तू है जहाँ मैं हूँ वहाँ तू है जीना तेरे बिन है सजा मिल जाए इस तरह दो लहरें जिस तरह फिर होना जुदा हाँ ये वादा रहा
तू सफर मेरा है तू ही मेरी मंजिल तेरे बिना गुजारा है दिल है मुश्किल मुझे आजमाती है तेरी कमी मेरी हर कमी को है तू लाज़मी जुनून है मेरा करूं मैं तेरे काबिल तेरे बिना गुजारा ऐ दिल है मुश्किल
आँखें जो तेरी देखी शराबी दिल हो गया संभालो मुझको ओ मेरे यारो संभलना मुश्किल हो गया मैं लुट गया मार के दिल का कहा मैं कहीं का ना रहा क्या कहूँ दिलरुबा बुरा ये जादू तेरी आँखों का ये मेरा कातिल हो गया
करूं मैं ये गुजारिशें मोहब्बतों का मोल दे नींदों में मेरी ख्वाब सा जरा सा मीठा बोल दे हाँ तू बन जा तू मेरी बन जा बन जा तू मेरी इश्क दी चाशनी हो मिठी मिठी चाशनी
पल पल दिल के पास तुम रहती हो जीवन मीठी प्यास ये कहती हो हर शाम आँखों पर तेरा चल लहराए हर रात यादों की बारात ले आए पल पल दिल के पास तुम रहती हो
साथ छोड़ूंगा ना तेरे पीछे आऊंगा छीन लूंगा या खुदा से मांग लाऊंगा तेरे नाम तकदीरा लिखवाऊंगा मैं तेरा बन जाऊंगा मैं तेरा बन जाऊंगा
जब कोई बात कर जाए जब कोई मुश्किल पड़ जाए तुम देगा साथ मेरा ओ हमनवा ना कोई है ना कोई था जिंदगी में तुम्हारे सिवा तुम देगा साथ मेरा ओ हमनवा ओ हमनवा
जिंदगी
Okay. So this was an example of remix. You can see that there were 2, 3 different songs that were remixed together. What is the meaning of remix? That the tune is the same, the words are the same of the song, but the treatment given to the song with use of different instruments is what differs. And that is exactly what is being done in the remix that you just heard, that there are different modern instruments, also a lot of uh, electronic instruments were used in making the remix of this song. Apart from the remixes, there are also music. There is also music which is played on flights and in waiting rooms of railways or the airports. You might have heard music which is played in the flights also. That is specifically made for uh, people on the flight or in the waiting rooms at the airport. So that is a very soothing music. Those are not that is not a very loud music, or that is not a very the purpose of the music that is played on flights or in waiting rooms is to entertain people, is to keep them at peace, keep them happy, give them a good experience of the flight or of the waiting, is what is the aim of such music which is played on flights and at the airports. So the music is composed accordingly. So these are the major subgenres, I would say, under popular music, which constantly keeps changing. We cannot have, for example, which the remix that is made in today's times is little different in terms of use of instruments, in terms of what instruments are mixed, and the approaching the song is different than what it was about 15, 20 years back. Also, the music that is played on flights or in the waiting areas also keeps changing because it goes, um, it changes according to the society, according to the culture, and the time span of popular music is very short, though it is very attractive, but it keeps changing according to the time. So this is all for the popular music for today. And in the next class, we will discuss about confluence music, which is the last category of music in India.